What if the very things you rely on every day, your food, your clothes, even the water you drink, could be slowly harming you? And what if one powerful family was at the center of it all, profiting from creating substances that many claim are silently killing us? It's a bold accusation, but one tied to the legacy of the DuPont family, a name that's been synonymous with both scientific innovation and controversy for nearly 2 centuries. So, is the DuPont family a villain in the modern age, or just another case of corporate success with a dark side? To answer that question, let's start at the beginning. The DuPont story doesn't start with a poor immigrant family working their way to the top, like many of the other powerful dynasties in history. No, the DuPonts began their rise to influence in the heart of French nobility. Pierre Samuel DuPont was a man of intellect and ambition, an economist and politician who found his place in the court of King Louis XVI. His key achievement? Helping to craft the Treaty of Versailles in 1783, laying the foundation for free trade between France and Britain. But when the French Revolution came crashing in, Pierre's royalist loyalties put him in harm's way. Forced to flee for his life, he landed in America, where he would eventually shape a future of power and influence far beyond his wildest dreams. Pierre's son, Eleuthère Irénée DuPont, was the one who truly ignited the family fortune. Trained in the art of chemistry in France, Eleuthère saw the potential of America's industrial landscape, especially the need for gunpowder. In 1802, he set up a small gunpowder mill along the Brandywine River in Delaware. The business struggled at first, but when the War of 1812 broke out, everything changed. Gunpowder became a precious commodity, and the DuPont family found themselves positioned at the center of the conflict, supplying the U.S. military and skyrocketing their wealth in the process. This is where things really start to take off for the DuPonts. They were no longer just a small family business. They were becoming an industrial empire. As the U.S. entered the Civil War, the DuPont fortune grew even larger, supplying massive quantities of gunpowder. The expansion of the railroads further fueled their success, turning the DuPont name into one of the most powerful in the country. But it wasn't just war that kept the DuPonts rich. They innovated. In 1857, they revolutionized gunpowder production with a new process that made it more reliable. Then, in 1880, the company branched out into dynamite production, thanks to Alfred Nobel, the inventor of dynamite himself. Yes, the same Nobel behind the Nobel Prize, a small, ironic twist in the DuPont saga. For years, the DuPont family would be at the heart of technological and industrial progress. By the early 20th century, the company had diversified into chemicals, textiles, and even automobiles, thanks to investments in General Motors. But the family wasn't immune to the growing pains of corporate expansion. After facing an antitrust lawsuit in 1913, DuPont had to break into 3 separate companies, a major setback. But they recovered quickly. By the end of World War I, DuPont had not only survived but thrived, revolutionizing products like synthetic rubber neoprene and synthetic fibers like nylon, the world's first synthetic fabric. And then came the breakthrough that would change everything: Teflon. This remarkable substance, discovered by accident by scientist Roy J. Plunkett in 1938, would become a household name. Non-stick cookware, waterproof raincoats, and even aerospace technology relied on Teflon. But what the world didn't know was the dark side lurking behind this miracle material. As Teflon gained widespread popularity, the DuPont family became embroiled in a major scandal. It started in the 1980s when reports emerged of strange health problems among workers in a DuPont factory. Many of these employees had been exposed to a chemical called C8, part of the Teflon production process. It wasn't long before doctors discovered that C8 or PFAS, per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, could cause serious health issues, from birth defects to cancer. The DuPont company had known about the dangers of these chemicals for decades. Internal research in the 1960s had already warned of the toxicity of C8, but the company chose to remain silent. By the time the public became aware of the dangers, PFAS were in nearly every product, from clothing to food packaging, and in the water systems of communities surrounding DuPont factories. It was a toxic legacy that could last for generations. By 2000, researchers had found PFAS in local drinking water near DuPont factories, sparking a series of lawsuits and media investigations. As more evidence came to light, the DuPont family found themselves at the center of a massive legal battle. In 2023, the company agreed to pay over $1 billion in settlements for contaminating public water systems, but for many, it was too little, too late. Today, PFAS are found in the blood of nearly every person on Earth. The long-term health effects are still unfolding, but many scientists agree. The damage done by these chemicals is far more severe than we ever realized. So, does this mean the DuPont family is entirely to blame for the harm caused by their inventions? The truth is complicated. The DuPonts undeniably revolutionized industries with groundbreaking products like nylon, Kevlar, and synthetic rubber, innovations that saved lives and transformed society. But the legacy of those same chemicals has left a dark stain on their history. As we look to the future, one question remains: how will history judge the DuPonts? Will they be remembered as pioneers of industry, or as a family whose pursuit of profit came at the cost of the health and safety of the public? With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.